I've got a message for liberal news networks. Shut up about the stock market. I'm sick and tired of hearing it. Now, I know your job is to sow panic and distrust, and obviously you're doing your job very well because the entire country is saving back their potato sacks in case they need clothes. Biggest shocker of all, you're lying. Welcome to the Doghouse. Okay, so this is the chart. This was Biden's entire presidency, and this is Trump now. Now, all you'll hear from the media is this doom and gloom, but in the grand scheme of things, you're looking at what's called a correction. There have been many corrections over the years. But overall, this whale is working his way up. The only time there was ever any doubt was here. Currently, we have an emotional reaction, but as you can tell, things got real emotional when Biden was around. But nobody said anything about that. It was radio silence. No, the sky is falling in sight. Let me ask you something. How'd you feel about the market last year? Unless you were into trading at the time or you know what the words Bitcoin halving mean, was it even on your mind? Probably not. So if we look at the one-year chart, we can tell that the market is exactly where it was 1 year ago today, as if it rode sideways the whole time. Now, was the sky falling this time last year? No. But people are losing all their money. Here's the thing. What we call the smart money realized that in the middle of last year, when Trump announced that tariffs were going to be his plan, it wasn't going to be a good time to get into the market. The smart money understands that. They've evaluated your emotions and they've made plans to buy in once your emotional reaction causes a correction. Meanwhile, the people that they're reacting to, the ones that thought it'd be a good idea to buy in right now, are how those guys make their money. Now, if Grandma's about to lose her retirement, while I feel for Grandma, it's either the fault of Grandma or the person who talked her into buying into a bear market. I'm not hating on Grandma, but get good, Grandma. There's also this post on 4chan that throws out this wild theory, and it's exploding on the internet, and for good reason. Check it out. Trump is trying to crash the stock market at least 20%, causing a flight into treasuries. This will cause the Fed to slash interest rates so he can refinance the debt to near 0% and cause a deflationary spiral which will lower the cost of everything. He also intends to use tariffs as an incentive for companies to build in the US to avoid having to pay them. The tariffs and a resulting global trade war will also force American farmers to sell more of their goods in the US due to retaliatory trade measures by other countries, which will directly lower the price of groceries in the US. More than 94% of all stock is owned by just 8% of the US population. Trump is literally taking money from the rich and giving it to the poor. This is why Trump is playing the game of hokey pokey with tariffs. One day he has 25% tariffs on Mexico and the next day he doesn't. This is to cause extreme volatility in the markets and a desperate need to demand to flee towards treasury bonds, which are much more stable but offer much lower potential in return. This is also why eggs are cheaper now than they were under Biden. So in a nutshell, by driving the market down 20%, it'll lead investors away from stocks and into treasury bonds, giving the Fed the ability to refinance our national debt and giving us some much needed breathing room. Cherry on top, he'll still have time to get the market stabilized after all this is done, but that's not the best part. The best part, hands down, is that Trump posted this video on Truth Social, basically confirming the entire thing.
Trump is crashing the stock market by 20% this month, but he's doing it on purpose. And this is why Warren Buffett just said Trump is making the best economic moves he's seen in over 50 years. Now, here's the secret game he's playing, and it could make you rich. So why is he doing this? To push cash into treasuries, which forces the Fed to slash interest rates in May, and those lower rates give the Fed the ability to refinance trillions of debt very inexpensively. It also weakens the dollar and drops mortgage rates. Now, it's a wild chess move, but it's working. Now, you're probably wondering, what about his tariffs? Well, I'll tell you, it's a genius play. It actually forces companies to build here to dodge them. It also forces farmers to sell more of their products here in the US to bring grocery prices way down. We've already seen this with eggs. Now, remember, 94% of all stocks are owned only by 8% of Americans. So Trump, he's taking from the rich short term and handing it to the middle class through lower prices.
I've said all that to say this. I'd very much like to get back to making videos about naked Mexicans and trans gun trainers and all the good stuff that Trump is doing, you know, the fun stuff. But the media is just pretending that the country is burning down right now, when in reality, the only thing burning down is the media.
Sad and frustrated. Those are the words of one CNN staffer amid the bombshell report that the network is cutting hundreds of jobs and will axe top stars.
Executives are set to unleash a fury of layoffs following CNN's abysmal election day ratings.
The media exec also cut 100 jobs back in July, which was roughly 3% of CNN's workforce. Conservative account Wall Street Silver posted, quote, "Maybe the new owners will figure out that lying nonstop to your audience is a lousy business model." and media group Sasquatch posted, quote, "This is what happens when you get caught gaslighting an entire nation." I wish we need to have tissues on set so I can, stop the crying and the tears.
Because Liberal, if you like what I do, please leave a like. They really help. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you next time.
Good. How about a story, huh?
Oh, yeah, tell us a story.
Okay, can I borrow that? Thank you. Eep! Your old favorite.
I haven't played with that thing in years.
She was alive because she listened to her father and lived her life in routine and darkness and terror.